All right, it says that I am live. Welcome to the Low Budget Livestream. As always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds. If you're watching the show, definitely pop up and chat. At least let us know you're here. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but we welcome everybody. And you know, we just try to have a good time here. Those of you that have not watched this before. Um, as usual, it's AMA rules. Ask me anything. Not saying I can answer everything, but ask me anything. And we'll definitely talk about it. You guys bring most of the topics because the inmates run the asylum mostly, as we like to say here. So if you got something you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat and we will talk about it. I know there's some cool new trailers out. I know, uh, there's all sorts of stuff. I got a few updates, so we can talk about that stuff too. I see Bryson says I'll be joining maybe a little late, but should make it. That's great. Paul says stuff sounds cool. Can't wait. Why do they spell stuff with one F on double stuffed Oreos? And Bill has kind of answered. But I thought my first thought was, since it's not really double the stuff, uh, it's a liability thing. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer or not. That's my guess, is that it's not really double the stuff and it's a legal thing. But who knows? Um, so yeah. So Bill says it's a Dodge. Desiree joins us. How you doing? I hope you're not working. You're not working during my show today. Um, Bill says, quick, everyone act like they can't see Gino. Wait, he can see me. Hey, Gino. Rob joins us, Smirking Gun Reviews. He says, what's up, everyone? How you doing, Rob? So yeah, you guys bring the topics and we'll definitely talk about this stuff. And Zepster joins us and says the real question is, when will they make quadruple stuff Oreos? Man, there's videos on YouTube for that. There's videos on YouTube where they try to stack it as high as they can. There's one video they tried to it wasn't double. I don't know if it's double stuff or regular Oreos, but they tried to stack 100 of the creams, and it just would not stay. It would not stay up. It just kept falling. Um, yeah, that's on YouTube. But I'm glad you could join us, man. Excuse me. And Desiree says, I ain't working, thankfully. Good, you get to join us today. I'm happy about that. Bill says, Dr. Doolittle trailer. Yeah, I just watched it. I had a feeling that one was going to come up. It ain't the Eddie Murphy movie, I can tell you that. I don't know much about the character, but I imagine that's probably closer to what the character's supposed to be, would be my guess. I thought the trailer looked alright. I thought it looked kind of fun, just like a fun adventure film. And sometimes you just need a good fun adventure film. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is ever gonna find a. I hope he does, but I don't think he's ever gonna find a role again, to where he's gonna top Tony Stark. I mean, he's gonna be known for Tony Stark for probably ever. I'm not saying he hasn't had other good roles, because he has, but he's probably gonna be mostly known for Tony Stark forever now. And and I know, and there was a couple times he was trying to distance himself a little bit away from that, and it's like, don't, man, just embrace it. You started this, you know. Um, but the movie looks fun, so I didn't think it was bad. I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like the Eddie Murphy stuff, and it wasn't. So I mean, the Eddie Murphy movies aren't. I remember seeing the first one. I don't know if I saw any of the other ones. I thought I saw the first one. They had one about his daughter or something. I can't even remember how many there were. Um, but the Eddie Murphy one wasn't bad, but I didn't want to see it again. Um, let's see. Paul says, hi, Rob. Bryce says, anyone have the Lighthouse and theaters around them? Is supposed to get a wide release on Friday, but I can't find it anywhere near me. Yeah, I can't find it. Um, I was making thumbnails the last couple days for my videos, and that one came up, and it's like, is it even near me? And I didn't see it near me. It'll probably pop up in Springfield or Champaign or Savoy or something soon, hopefully. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. I didn't love The Witch. I liked the way The Witch looked. I know it's by the same person. Um, I didn't really dig that movie, but I got it. I got why people did. Um, and so and plus, the cast of The Lighthouse, it seems just like it's going to be a two-man just amazing performance like group. So I that's what I'm hoping for from that one. But yeah, I hope it comes near me soon. Desiree says, I don't like the fill-in of Oreos. Ain't a fan of overly sweet things, but the cookies are aces. Oreo O's are even my favorite cereal. Tastes just like the cookie. Yeah, I like Oreos. I don't ever eat them a ton. Never did. But I do enjoy them. And I'm not one of those people that tear them apart and, eat the inside out and then eat the cookies. I just eat them. But I don't eat them that often. I don't eat a lot of cookies very often anyway. I'm a salty guy, not a sweet guy, mostly. Paul says, you're going to see Countdown. Can't wait for review. Yeah, I'm going to see it tomorrow. Black and Blue doesn't open here until Friday. So Countdown really is my only choice. And I have to do one on Thursday so I can do my radio reviews for Friday morning. So yeah, it had to be Countdown. I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be an hour and a half, so it'll be quick. I think it's just going to be a run-of-the-mill horror movie. I don't expect anything special. I did make a fun. Normally, I just make a still thumbnail to show in my reviews and my talking movie segments, but I made something a little funny. I made a little motion. It's not full video, but it's kind of motion image for that review that I had a little fun making. And granted, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know like who the villain is or whatever. So I just kind of guessed. But yeah, I'll have that up whenever I do my review. The review will probably be up. If it's not Thursday night, it'll be Friday morning, I'm sure. Sometime Friday morning, I'd have to come home and film it. I've been filming my Thursday movies Thursday night and losing a lot of sleep over it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. But since it's only an hour and a half movie, I should get home quicker and can do the stuff quicker. Let's see. Excuse me. Let's see. Where was I? Bill says, I now have Weird Al's Oreo song stuck in my head. I love that song. I love that album. I definitely love that album. The one that has the Nirvana cover on it. I think it's on that one. Yeah, I love the White Stuff, the Right Stuff cover, or the Right Stuff parody song. I do love that one. It's pretty funny. Let's see. Bill says the Rise of Skywalker is breaking in-game pre-sales. I'm not surprised. And maybe in some ways because of the bit of bitter taste that The Last Jedi left in some people's mouths. I'm in the middle with The Last Jedi because there was things I did not like and there's things I really did like. So I mean, there was definitely things I would have done a lot differently. Even if the story was the same, I would have used different characters in different places. And I felt like The Last Jedi in some ways, while it had some really good stuff in some ways, there were some things that it did that were just like, I almost felt like it was Rian Johnson saying, I have control of Star Wars now. I can do whatever I want. And it was a middle finger to the hyper fanboy. Which really, I don't like it when a filmmaker approaches a film like that. I just give us a good story. That's all I ask. Whether or not that was his intent, I don't know because I don't know him personally, but that's the way it felt like to me. Of course, the Last Jedi in a way kind of helps with my Rey as a clone theory. So hopefully that's the thing. Bill says also first hour. Oh, yeah, the pre-sales broke it in the first hour. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, I'm not, being that it's the end, the last time we're probably ever going to see. I mean, it's definitely the last time we're going to see Leia, because they had to put together a performance for her. I'm willing to bet they make her daughter, her real life daughter, the new Leia, for future movies, because I have a feeling this isn't the last we're going to see of like Rey, Finn, and Poe, and maybe some of the others, but it's the last time we're going to see C-3PO. R2-D2 might stick around, but who knows? I got a feeling R2 or C-3PO is going to die. Let's see. But yeah, we're probably going to see all sorts of blasts of the past. Lando may or may not make it. I mean, there's just so much that they're going to have to say goodbye to, and have for the future as well. But and really the Rise of Skywalker trailer, it got me curious. I mean, there's things in there I really liked, and things they definitely kept it vague. I like that they didn't really give us anything. I just want to see a good conclusion to the story. I feel like though that if they try to introduce some things, like I have a feeling, like I know a lot of people, like I'll use this as an example. I know some people want to see like a relationship between Finn and Poe, and while I'd be fine with that, I don't want them to just cram it into this movie, because I feel like they would have needed a whole movie of them being together for it to work in this movie. I mean, granted, I know you had, you had Han and Leia get together in one movie, but then again, they had Star Wars to kind of interact as well, A New Hope to interact as well. And in the Force Awakens, I mean, yeah, they were together at the first, and they saw each other near the end, and then that was about it, because of course Finn was incapacitated at the end of that movie. But then they were rarely together, if at all, in the second one, and then they tried to force that Rose Tico relationship on Finn, which I don't have the same problems other people had with that character. I just thought it was an underdeveloped character. And and I know she's in this new one as well, so maybe they'll do more with her, and I'll like her better. But yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to try to start some new things, and they have to end some new things. It's going to be a really tricky movie. It's about, 2.5 hours or so. They almost need 3 hours probably to tell all the stories they're going to have to try to tell, to wrap up some and keep some going, because I don't want this to be the end of this storyline. I would rather it, you keep some of these new characters if you're going to, if you're going to introduce them to us, don't just take them away after 3 movies. I mean, we got 9 movies of the Skywalker storyline. Now I think we should get more of some of these other characters as well. So hopefully they just don't try to cram a bunch of things in, just to say, hey, we did it. Let's see, where was I? Paul says, is The Hunt ever going to be released? The Hunt. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I hope so. I was looking forward to that one. I thought that I liked the trailer. I hope it gets released. I think they'll wait a little while, maybe early next year would be my guess. They'll eventually think, okay, knowing their luck, they'll be ready to release it, and then something bad will happen again, and they'll feel like they have to stall it again. But I don't know. I think it'll get released. Desiree says, been playing the game Don't Starve all day. Been playing it for about 3 months now, and I've come to the conclusion that anyone who says they're an expert is a dang liar. I've never played that game. As you guys know, I just finished Batman Arkham Origins, and then I did a revenge episode of for Spider-Man to beat down on Thanos of Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems. I wanted to start a new game this week. It just hasn't happened. Just a short story, and it's not like this was an emergency thing, but my son had to have eye surgery this week. It was a scheduled thing. This is like the 3rd or 4th eye muscle surgery thing he's had. So I was in St. Louis all day yesterday, and just some stuff happened leading up to that, and it's just been, it's one of those things, it's one of those weeks where I'm saying, man, it's been a long week, and that was on Sunday, right? So so I haven't really gotten to the new game I want to do. I'm hoping to maybe start it Friday or Saturday. I doubt that happens though, because what do you got? I got Countdown tomorrow. Friday I got some things I got to do, and then Saturday I got some stuff at night. But I may go see A Current War, but I got to go to Champaign to see it. So, so I don't know if I'll get that game started or not. I want to get another game started. It's just been kind of hard to sit down and play anything. I did play a little bit more Batman, just off camera, just to play it. But just took down a few of the criminals and things like that, just for fun, just to kind of get out of the recording mode and everything. So, I'm hoping to get to another game, but yeah, I've never played Don't Starve. I'm not sure. I don't know if I've even heard of that one. But I'll take your word for it. Desiree's probably my one of my resident go-to gamers. So if she says they're a liar, they're a liar. Let's see. Bill says, I'll say it. The Last Jedi is my second favorite Star Wars film after Empire. And, I kind of get it. There's just debates to be had. But really, there's debates to be had about all the movies. Last Jedi, I never really rank them because, me, I don't really do rankings a lot. But Last Jedi would probably be somewhere near the middle for me. But I'm not sure exactly where. Yeah. I get there's a lot of good stuff in The Last Jedi. I think that, again, there was a lot of things done by the director that he probably should have just focused on making a great movie and not just forcing some things in, trying to say, well, not all heroes are heroes. Well, we like stories where heroes are established, and storylines that are established in the first movie carry over to the second movie, because they really didn't carry over some of the stuff they needed to carry over. We shouldn't, they're going to cram in the Knights of Ren into this movie. And it's like, they could have done, 2 movies with those guys, and things like that. Who knows who they even really are? Phasma got wasted, there was just a lot of things to debate here. Then again, they had one of the coolest things I've ever seen when they took the ship into hyperdrive through the other ship. And I like that. Granted, it should have been somebody else piloting it, because we had this character that they'd never established, and honestly wasn't even a great character, being the one that doesn't. It's like, yeah, they're trying to, it doesn't have to be a hero that sacrificed themselves, but we as movie viewers like to see our established heroes, do something heroic. That's kind of the point. Think about it. What if you would have had a character, let's talk Endgame. What if you would have introduced a character in that movie and they were the one that sacrificed himself to beat Thanos, and we barely got a movie with them, right? You barely got to know him. It's just, we just want to see a hero's journey. Yeah, a lot of people said it should have been Akbar. I'd have been great with that. How it should have ended, did a video with The Last Jedi basically giving everyone sentiments about that, where he's like saying, it's a trap, and nails him with it. But even if it wasn't Akbar, and I know she had just died, but wouldn't that have been a perfect death for Leia? Wouldn't that have been an awesome thing for Leia to do, right? It just would have been a cool thing. Just any established hero, even if they would have sacrificed like R2-D2 doing it. Yeah, I know it's not a human, but we know R2-D2 so well that R2-D2 is in our hearts and is a character so that we love. So it would have been nice to have someone we love do that. Someone that is established do that. Those are the kind of problems I had with Last Jedi. The whole Finn mission was kind of meh. And then it really turned out to be nothing. It was just, Rian Johnson, I felt, was trying to do too many things to turn what you were expecting on its head. And while some of it I thought worked with I liked the Rey Kylo stuff. At least most of it. The thing with Snoke was kind of weak. And then I liked some things about the movie, but there was a lot of things that's just like, you could have stuck with the story that was established in The Force Awakens. So let's see, where was I? Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. Daniel says, hello, I'm back. Sorry I wasn't there last time. I was working. Hey, man, welcome back. Rob says, I felt nothing watching Rise of Skywalker trailer, and it breaks my dang heart to be skipping the last one because I can't support this. See, that with me, I mean, if you're not happy with the product, you're not happy with the product. And, I mean, that's definitely your prerogative. Me, as a critic, I'm going to take Hollywood how they give it to me, whether it's good or not. Whether, and I'm just going to judge it how I see it. That's just how I'm looking at it. Am I excited as I should be about this movie? No. I am excited for it because it is The Wars, man, as they say in Fanboys. But I think that if I would have liked The Last Jedi a lot more, I would have been a lot more excited. I'm a little more worried. That being said, I am happy that JJ is back. I wish JJ Abrams would have done all three. Just keep that consistency. You would have had the consistent storyline. I understand why they wanted Rian Johnson. And I am looking forward to like movies like Knives Out, and I loved Looper. I just want to see Rian Johnson do his own stuff. I don't want to see him in established storylines. I just want to see him create stuff on his own and go with that. Because I think he's better at that. Let's see. Desiree says, the Rise of Skywalker trailer didn't give me any feels. Didn't make me want to see it. Still going to see it in theaters, but I'm going in with low optimism. Yeah, see, mine is down some. Because that trailer, and because of The Last Jedi. I mean, the trailer was fine. There's definitely a lot of callbacks. I did like some stuff. I'm curious about the red-eyed C-3PO. There's a lot of theories about that. I think that they're just kind of turning on his war mode, and he's going to fight. So I think that's what it's going to be, is they're going to need extra help, and he's going to be like, have that hacker turn him into a war machine, and he's going to go out a blaze of glory. I know the toy comes with Chewbacca's bowcaster, so either Chewbacca's going to not make it and C-3PO is going to pick it up, or C-3PO is just going to have one of his own or something. I think he's just going to go into war mode. A lot of people are saying they think that it's going to be Anakin Skywalker possessing C-3PO, but then they've showed him being worked on. So I think it's going to be more just like a war mode thing. It's going to be like some hidden stuff he's got in his coding where he's like, I can help, just turn this, and that turns him into like a war machine. He's always been so soft-spoken and just kind of comedic, and now I think he's going to lay waste to some stormtroopers is what he's going to do. Let's see. Paul says, think Chewbacca is going to die also. I think he's going to I thought he was going to die in Force Awakens. I really thought they were going to have him sacrifice himself for Han. That's what I thought. But of course we didn't get that. Will Chewbacca die in this? I don't know. Being that they have a new actor playing him now, I think they're going to keep Chewbacca around a while. I don't think they're going to get rid of every character. Will Chewbacca have a lesser role, like a more supportive role? Well, he's always been kind of supportive, so I could see him sticking around. I mean, I think they're just trying to, they've written out Han Solo, they've somewhat written out Luke, and they got to write out Leia. And Lando may even show up later. Who knows? I hope they, and speaking of Lando, I hope they don't force the whole he's Finn's daddy thing in there. I really hope. I don't think they will, but man, I'm scared they're going to do that. But Chewbacca, honestly, he may die, and that's why C-3PO has the bowcaster, and maybe C-3PO will carry him and save him, kind of like he saved C-3PO and Empire. Who knows? Maybe it's a little callback to that. Abrams likes his little combat or his little callbacks, so we'll see. Chewbacca, though I think he could die, I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to stick around since they got someone new to play him. Let's see. Bryson says, with J.J. Abrams at the helm having a good story is iffy. Also, C-3PO dies in the trailer. I didn't see that. They replace him with a battle droid chip. Okay. That is why he says good. Okay, I got you. Well, I guess there was like a battle droid in the background or something. Okay. That makes total sense. And yeah, I saw a thing where he says goodbye, so I didn't see him die in the trailer, though. Unless that's what you're calling him dying. That's cool though. I mean, that's a neat way of doing it. Him be like, look, I wanna help. hell, I want to help you get out of here. And yeah, he'll probably sacrifice himself to save him in that scene. And we already know it's going to be the last time we see C-3PO. So that's a fitting end for him, really. Um, let's see. Desiree says, "You're a brave man, Bill." It takes a lot to admit that. Oh, about The Last Jedi being the second favorite. Look, I know a lot of people that love that movie, that think it's the greatest thing ever, and I know a lot of people that think it's the worst thing ever. And but I don't know. I was never, when I walked out, I saw Last Jedi about a week early. It was one of the screenings I went to St. Louis for, and I thought everyone was like gushing over it, and I was just like, I don't know what I think. And they were like, really? It's like, how dare you? It's like, well, excuse me for having some thoughts. So yeah, I had issues with it, and I thought about it. I also watched I watched something else that night, like an Oscar contender that night too, because I was in St. Louis, and I figured I might as well make a double feature. Oh, Shape of Water, that's what else I watched, and I love that movie. So, so seeing that later, I was like, oh well, it definitely, one of them didn't hold up as much. And again, there was stuff I like. I'm gonna watch The Last Jedi again soon because I want to analyze it again. I've only seen it like twice, I think. I know I haven't seen it more than that. So I need to see it again. Let's see. Ryan Walter says, "Hey there, been a while. Welcome back, Ryan. Lots of movie and TV related news to bring up." Ryan says, "First off, it was announced today via Collider that a Hocus Pocus sequel is in the works via Disney Plus. Not surprised. Not surprised at all. Just get Doug Jones back. That's all I got to say." Let's see. Bill says James Gunn's response was perfect. Response to what? I've read some James Gunn news, but I skipped one. Now I know what you're talking about. After Francis Ford Coppola sided with Scorsese, the existential question arises: while the Marvel movies are fun, are they really good movies? Man, this whole thing. Look, I understand why Scorsese doesn't like them. They're not his kind of movies. But you know what? Not everybody likes 2.5 to 3 hour long epics. I don't like all Scorsese's films. I'd say I like at least half of them. I'd have to look at the list, but I don't love them all. But then again, I don't love all Marvel movies either. So I just look at movies. Look, if you like what you like. I mean, there's something out there for everybody. Man, there's some weird stuff out there that people love, and then other people think it's just weird. And then there's, epic stuff out there that people love, and people think it's long and boring. I mean, I've heard many discussions about how Lord of the Rings trilogy is the greatest trilogy of all time, and then a lot of people say it's 3 movies of people walking. I mean, there's none of that stuff really bothers me. But because movies, you're gonna like what you're gonna like. I mean, I could say 10 movies, and some of you'd be like, those movies suck, or those movies are great. I mean, and I'd be like, cool. If you don't like it, you don't. You like it, you like it. The whole thing of him and like Francis Ford Coppola and all them saying they can say what they want. They can have their own opinion, just like we have our own opinion. I can't remember exactly what James Gunn's response was, but I remember enjoying it. I just don't remember what it was. Ryan says, according to Spider-Verse co-director Peter Ramsey, Coppola actually did like and appreciated the innovation in animated performances. And he says, it's also been reported that Brett McKenzie of Fly the Conchords is working on a feature film version of the classic Jim Henson special, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Man, they're making everything nowadays. Yeah, look, I mean, there's something to appreciate. Even in the worst movies, there's always at least one tiny little thing to appreciate. I mean, sometimes it's hard to find, but if you don't like something, it's cool. I mean, him saying it's not cinema is, I think, just I don't think he was trying to get the ire of Marvel fans. He was just saying what he doesn't like. He doesn't think that it's real movies. And also, I mean, he's not of this generation. I mean, he's an older generation who made movies differently and different stories differently. But I also kind of agree with him that we need more uh like story driven movies. I mean, I'm not saying I want to see Marvel movies go away, of course not, but we need, and also, I mean, look at something like Infinity War and Endgame. They set those up for, all those movies for like 10 years. And you had a lot of story going on that you couldn't tell in one movie. Um, One thing I'll say about Scorsese movies, sometimes they're a little long because he has to cram so much in there. I saw how long the Irishman was going to be, and I'm like, man, that's going to take up a good chunk of my Friday. Um, so him saying that, it doesn't bother me too much because in the end, it's just an opinion. Um, and let's see. Desiree says, they clearly don't know the story of Marvel's movies. Tony's arc alone is a great story. Starts as an arrogant, cocky arms dealer, eventually settling down and sacrificing himself to save the universe. Exactly. He had 3 movies plus the team-up movies to tell his story, and plus what little bits, whatever little bits he showed up here and there. So, but, I don't know. That's just it. Just the story of Captain America was set up and had plenty of story there. I mean, you couldn't tell all this for any of these characters. You couldn't tell it all in one movie. So, I don't see a series done by Scorsese. I mean, could you imagine if he did a TV show? I mean, I would love to see the amount of detail he could fit into that wouldn't make it a 3-hour movie. And then you get to spread out like his characters and stuff. Bill says Disney should not have a guy named Akbar fly a spaceship into something. Well, it's a known character that we've known since Return of the Jedi. That's, I I get it. Ryan says, probably the biggest WTF news last week. Get Out's own Daniel Kaluuya, I guess that's how you say it, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, is producing a Barney movie alongside Mattel, who now owns the property. Oh boy. Nobody tell my son that they're doing a Barney movie. They bring back everything else. Why stop at Barney, I guess. Daniel says, even though Rise of Skywalker is breaking pre-sale records, do you still think that Frozen 2 could still do better in Star Wars? No. I'm not saying Frozen 2 isn't going to make money, but I think that it's the end of the saga or whatever. Everyone that's a Star Wars fan, whether they liked Last Jedi or not, I think even if you didn't like Last Jedi, I think most people are still going to go see it. Whether or not they tear it apart, I don't know. But with like The Mandalorian coming out and some of the other stuff that they're talking about working on, Star Wars isn't going anywhere, at least for now. I don't think Frozen 2 is going to make more in Star Wars. It could be close, but I don't think it's going to make more. Then again, I don't think The Rise of Skywalker is going to make Endgame money. Unless it's totally amazing. And even then, I think with the bitter taste that Last Jedi left in some people's mouths, is probably going to hurt it some. Bill says, absolutely adore the triple character arcs of Luke finding a new hope, Poe learning to see the big picture, and Finn seeing the dark side of being neutral. It's there's a lot of the character arcs. That's one of my issues with Star Wars, and especially this new thing. I think they tried to introduce too many new characters, but I feel they should have focused on like 3 or 4 characters, and then they tried to cram in too many in that last movie, I think. Sorry, give me a sec. You have to forgive me, I'm still a little tired from yesterday. As I left at like 6 in the morning and didn't get home till like 7 at night from St. Louis last night, so I'm a little beat. Let's see. Ryan says, It was announced today that Cartoon Network is making some brand new Adventure Time specials set to premiere exclusively on HBO Max. I'll tell you what, I never got into Adventure Time. My son watched it just a little bit. I know it's a show I'd probably dig. Um, but I got to say this thing for this HBO Max thing, I think is ticking a lot of people off. All the exclusives they're getting, Sesame Street, and I know that PBS gets it eventually and everything, but man, that HBO Max thing, every time I see an article about HBO Max, is how they're getting something that's going to make people mad that they have to pay for another service. Um, but I'm not, that's kind of cool though. I mean, for fans of Adventure Time, especially, I know a lot of people I talked to said the show kind of ended a little too early. Um, the cartoon I want to see come back is Gravity Falls, but that'll probably never happen. Um, Rob says Knives Out. Yes, Ryan Johnson is a good director when he does his own thing. Absolutely. And I love the ensemble here and the smarmy Chris Evans. Yes, please. Yeah, the trailers look cool. I like whodunit. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I know some of you might know this already if you have AMC's near you. AMC is doing that movie comes out Thanksgiving week. But AMC is doing early screenings for that on like the Friday and Saturday before. So if you look at your AMC stubs or whatever, um, they're doing an early screening of that if you want to see that movie early. Um, they're like 7 p.m. screenings, at least here. They're 7 p.m. screenings on Friday and Saturday. I'm going on the Saturday one, I think. Um, but if anyone's interested in seeing that, or I know I want to see it early, and plus that kind of frees up my Thanksgiving week a little bit. See, Bill says every character fits perfectly in service to those arcs, and yeah, you're definitely right about the, you know, with Luke, he needs to find hope. Poe needs to not just go half cocked, and Finn has to choose a side. He can't be right in the middle. He has to choose a side because there is good and there is evil, and you got to choose one. And being in the middle is not a good idea. So yeah, you're definitely right. Rob says, I think Chewie finally makes it back to Kashyyyk, probably misspelled. Hey, are we going to get his family? Are we going to see Lumpy again? Is The Last Jedi going to finally confirm the existence of the Christmas special? That's what I want to know. Even though the other day I would grab it if I could, but it's way over there. I bought the first appearance Boba Fett character. That's the cartoon in the Christmas special, like that, those colors and everything. So it exists. I know it exists. But yeah, I could see him. I could see them retiring that character. I just hope they don't retire every character. You could keep a Chewbacca. You could keep an R2-D2. Lando could even show up here and there. I don't want to see every character go. I think they're gonna. I know some of the books had some of the other characters like the Red Squadron or whatever they're called. I can't remember. Is it the Red Squadron? The one that we're in, or Rogue Squadron? That's the. What was the video games? The ones in the ships that they had on like the SNES and the N64 and stuff. I think. But it was those characters. But I believe it was the Red Squadron. They're supposed to be making a return in this movie, so I hope so. I hope they don't get rid of everybody. Daniel says, my Rise of Skywalker ending prediction: Chewbacca gets killed off and he meets Han Solo in heaven, and they copied the same dance number from this. Yeah, I don't know. I do have a feeling we're going to see Han Solo somehow, though. I really do. I think they filmed something secret that they're going to have, whether it be a vision or what. I think they're going to have something with Han Solo. Bill says, Holdo really had to sacrifice herself for Poe's arc to work, and there would be theories that she's secretly evil to justify Poe's behavior. Yeah, I know it had to be her. I just wish it wasn't. Because I didn't like Poe's arc. I got it, and it could have worked had the story been different, but I don't know. That was the weaker part of Last Jedi for me was Finn's story and Poe's story. I I was disappointed. There was things that did work, but and I get what they were doing with Poe, because he's kind of got to step up now and not be, who he was. He's got to do the right things, and not just do his own thing. And but I get it had to be her. I just wish she would have been a more established character. Even if they would have had her in The Force Awakens and established her there. It's just we had this character show up, and then his whole, Rian Johnson's whole, well, they don't have to be legends to be heroes kind of thing, which you could have done with some characters. I mean, I don't know. I just wasn't big on that character. I thought they were like, hey, this is how we're going to replace Leia. We're going to use her to replace Leia. Haha, we sacrificed her. See, in your face, fanboys. That's what that said to me, but I don't know. I just didn't like that character. Let's see. Where was I? Sorry, I kind of got lost in the chat here. Oh, there we go. Desiree says, my issue with Last Jedi was it felt like it was undermining everything set up in Force Awakens. Exactly. It just didn't really continue the story. Biggest issue I have was I dislike Kylo Ren, but Last Jedi gave him good motivation and obliterated it by reverting him back to a whiny baby because Rey didn't want to join him. All that development to make him a child again. Yeah, see, I love the development of him, but yeah, the ending, though, I like the stuff with Luke and everything. I don't know. I think he's gonna be different in this last movie. I think he's the leader of the First Order now. He's the supreme leader. So hopefully he's more grown up in this. Who knows what they're gonna do with this character? I mean, he's the wild card, really. I know a lot of people think Rey is the wild card. Will Rey turn evil and all that? Ain't happening. They got too many toys to sell to little girls to turn Rey bad. Unless there's the clone thing, of course, where you can have more than one. But Kylo is kind of the wild card. Is he going to stay good? Is he going to stay bad? Who knows? I just don't know. He's kind of the wild card character. Let's see. Ryan says, never forget Scorsese was in Shark Tale. Yeah, Scorsese. Now it's just a silly kids movie, right? Let's see. Just jumped on me. Sorry. Man, I'm getting behind. Let's see. Desiree says, let's see, I read that. Bryce says, Ryan Walterson, and with Coppola, and remind Coppola that Godfather 3 exists. Yeah. That's just it. Nobody has made a perfect movie, or always makes a perfect movie, but there's just the short of it is there's movies for everybody out there. I mean, I just started watching the whatever you want to call it, the Devil's Rejects trilogy again. I had seen the first two, but I remembered nothing about them really, and I watched the first one again the other day. Not really my movies, but I mean, I understand the entertainment value of them. I did enjoy. I bought a 2-pack of House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and I put in House of a Thousand Corpses, and for like 10 minutes the menu is Sid Haig belittling you about not pressing the play button, and it was hilarious. I sat there and laughed just watching the late Sid Haig yell at me for not pressing the play button, and him eating his lunch, and him looking at questionable material, and just all sorts of things, and him like, you haven't pushed the play button yet. So yeah, there's movies for everybody, and for anyone to say that this isn't a movie and this isn't, I mean, if it's on film, it's a movie, whether they say it is or not. Let's see. Daniel says, sad news, after Terminator Dark Fate reviews were released, it proves Paramount that not even Tim Miller and James Cameron returning could save the franchise. I haven't read anything on it. I know that I can't go to it, but the invite that I got said that you can't release the review. I mean, they made positive, don't release this until it comes out. So that's always a sign that people aren't liking it. That makes me sad. I know they've kept trying, but I would like to see them. Um, I'd really like to see them, you know, right the ship, but it's getting to that point where it's too late. Um, Rob says, "Wow, this live stream got really deep diving into how you do judge movies. I love it. Thank you." When I first became a critic, it was very black and white for me whenever I'd review movies, but it just got to a point it's like, but this movie, even though I didn't like it, it had good stuff, and this movie I loved, but this didn't work. And so after a while, the more you watch, the more you see the goods and bads of everything. I mean, even movies I love, I can pick apart for 10 minutes if I really wanted to, And that's just the way I have to look at movies, because if I don't look at movies that way, I feel like I'm not doing my due diligence and saying, okay, this is why I liked it and this is what I didn't like, this what didn't work and worked and everything else. Daniel says, Disney announced this new Disney Junior show called Chicken Squad, and it scares me how it looks familiar to a very dark Disney moment that we should never talk about. Cough, chicken little cough. Yeah, I didn't see that one, but man, Disney Junior pumps out stuff all the time. Daniel also says, since that Get Out guy is working on a Barney movie, do you think we'll get a Get Out reference? Maybe. I know a lot of people just want to tell Barney to get out. Let's see. Hey, Bryson's our winner. Bryson has the first hidden comment here, so we're gonna go and show it here. Bryson says, Amazon Lord of the Rings series, will it work? It isn't based on I can never say that word, Silmarillion. Just based on the universe helmed by Jay Bayona, director of the I'll just say crappy Fallen Kingdom. I predict a train wreck. See, they're still, from what I understand, they're still debating whether it's going to be based on Jackson's universe, and I think it's gonna be. So, I mean, we got The Hobbit, and we know how that turned out. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just not sure what they're doing. Whether it's how it's going to connect or anything. I mean, who knows? I've heard so many different things. I'll just wait and see it. I don't know. They could try their own original stuff. They could be, who knows? I know, because I'm pretty sure the Tolkien family is kind of backing it. So, we'll see how it turns out. Let's see. Bill says they should remake Barney in the style of Godzilla. That would be one massive town-shattering "I love you, you love me" song. Let's see. Ryan says Barney movie should end with Thomas appearing and talking about the Sodor Initiative. Meanwhile, Bob the Builder will have an origin story. Yo, okay, I want to talk. I don't remember a ton of this, but I remember reading an article, and I remember. Thomas the Tank Engine. That is a weird show, not just because of the way it looks and everything. Because yeah, that's weird. But I remember my son was watching it growing up, and we would have the subtitles on, and the subtitles say radically different things than the show is saying. And some of the things they say about being useful and things like that, they almost insinuate that if these trains aren't useful, they destroy them, and just all sorts of weird stuff. And I remember Cracked wrote an article, and I had read it because I used to read a lot of Crack back then. And they wrote this article, and I was like, "Ha, I knew it." They were calling the conductor guy, or not, the guy with the Sir Topham hat. He's called like the fat boss or something like that in the closed captioning. And yeah, that show's just weird. If you ever, I don't know if the article would still be there, but I know there's articles out there about how weird Thomas the Tank Engine really is. And I could not watch the show after that. And thankfully, my son got out of it quickly. Yeah, Thomas is a weird show. Paul says they messed up by not giving Black Widow a movie before Infinity War. Yeah, I have a feeling the Black Widow movie is going to tie in to the future somehow. She's going to have done something that affects the future, I think. Like, she'll have left something that'll help the future movies. I don't think it's just going to be a one-off origin story. I think there's going to be some kind of a connection there. Maybe even introducing a new Black Widow. Because from what I understand, there's supposed to be multiple Black Widows. Let's see. Bill says it's like Perlmutter. Ike Perlmutter is the reason we're just now getting Black Widow. Um, it's Ike Perlmutter. Sorry, I'm again tired. Um, you know, yeah, there should have been a Black Widow. Though I don't love Scarlett Johansson in the role. I thought she was fine. I still think she should have gotten a movie before Captain Marvel. I mean, she was there from the first, or at least near the first. Um, let's see. Ryan says, Koya said regarding Barney, Barney was a ambiguous figure in many of our childhoods. Then he disappeared into the shadows, left misunderstood. We're excited to explore this compelling modern day hero and see if his message of "I love you, you love me" can stand the test of time. My son learns a lot from that show. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. Some days I have to say, take the movie player into your room. I can't hear it anymore. Um, I mean, say what you will about that show. At least it was positive. There was a few weird episodes here and there, but the show was at least positive and taught kids positive messages. And it wasn't as annoying as some of the others like Yo Gabba Gabba. Thankfully, my son never got into that one. He did get in the Wiggles for a little bit. He thankfully doesn't watch that one hardly at all. Um, Daniel says, let's see, if this thing keeps jumping on me. I think I'm getting caught up and then it jumps on me again. Um, let's see. Daniel says, if the upcoming Phineas and Ferb movie does well on Disney Plus, we might get a Gravity Falls movie, but we'll have to wait and see. It just depends. I know what's his name that runs Gravity Falls. Was Alex Kirsch, I think is his name. Problems. Am I still? Hey, can you guys let me know if I'm still on? Can you do me a favor? Let me know if I'm still on in the chat. Okay. Did I cut off at all? Okay, I blinked for a second, but yeah, OBS is like, we're restarting. So, hey, what do we always say? If there isn't a technical problem, it's not the low budget live stream. Thank you. Let's see. But anyway, Phineas or Gravity Falls, Alex Hirsch. He's working with Netflix now, I think, so I don't know if he'll go back to Disney, but it would be cool if he did. I know there's been comic books and things like that. Um, there's been comic books and stuff is what happened after Gravity Falls. My son's been reading that stuff. So I don't know if they'd base it on that or what, because that stuff is canon apparently. Paul says, hope the Cartoon Network brings back the regular show. I've never seen that show. I know it's been pretty popular. Rogue Squadron. Thank you. Rogue Squadron was uh, the Star Wars group. Thank you, Rob. I knew it was something like that. I just know that's like Red 1, Red 2. Um, let's see. Bill says, I would be so down for a Gravity Falls movie. That show is spectacular. I'll tell you what. On the DS, there's a Gravity Falls game that's a lot of fun. My son and I, that was the first DS game he got. And it plays into the whole story, and you deal with the gnomes and everything. They're like the bad guys. If you get a chance to play that or watch someone play it, even it's a lot of fun. They do the stuff with the grappling hook and the flashlight that shrinks and makes stuff bigger and things like that. It's pretty cool. And it's just kind of a nice addition to the story. Desiree says, Disney Plus is like an overzealous sugar daddy. Hunt holds a few tricks up your sleeves. You don't gotta overgift. Just keep us interested. Yeah, it's Disney Plus is like, we're gonna have all of this, and I signed up for 3 years. I guess they got me. I guess they're my sugar daddy now. Daniel says, have you seen the trailer for Onward? Yes, it reminded me a lot of Bright, the Netflix movie Bright, in a way. Not in the good idea way, not the bad way. Even though I didn't think that movie was too terrible. Jungle Cruise, yeah, I thought that was fun. Um, it just looked like a fun adventure film. Peter Rabbit 2, it popped up today, but I didn't watch it. I didn't mind Peter Rabbit 1 as much as I thought I would. Frozen 2, yeah, I finally saw a trailer for that. I looked fine. I like Frozen. I don't love Frozen. I'm not sure where they're going to go with the story. And then Doolittle we talked about earlier a little bit, I think. Yeah, I saw Doolittle. it looked better than I thought it was going to be when I first heard it was happening. Bill says, I like having a discussion about The Last Jedi on the internet that isn't toxic. It's hard to discuss some films because of toxicity surrounding it. See, that's just it. We try. Oh, so thank you, everyone. That's what we try to do on the channel, man. I can't stand not having fun discussions. I don't want to argue with people. Look, I know feuds are going to happen. I know bad stuff can happen. People can get mad at each other, whatever. But there's people out there that just like to start stuff, and it's not fun for me. If people want to start stuff, if someone throws a mean comment in one of my comment sections, I'll either throw a little bit of snark their way if it's not a mean comment, like a really, really mean one. But if someone throws a really mean comment in there, I always say, look, we're here to have fun and discuss. If you want to do that, fine. Stick around and have fun with us. If not, you're in the wrong place. And most people have been cool about that. So, and especially those of you that show up to this show are usually pretty cool about that. I mean, I honestly don't think we've had any issues with this show. So, that's a good thing. Let's see. Paul says, does anyone think Terminator Dark Fate is going to do good at the box office? Not as good as they had hoped. And then when those reviews start coming out, I think it'll have a decent Thursday. But after that, unless it's good, it's not going to do very well, I don't think. Daniel says, if a studio decided to make a Teletubbies movie, they should give it the peanut butter falcon treatment. A lot of movies should have the peanut butter falcon treatment. That movie is amazing. I wish more movies were like Peanut Butter Falcon. I know I never really did a review on it. I don't know. I just couldn't find the right words. Maybe sometime I'll talk about that movie. But I love that movie. I couldn't find the words. But I love it. I love that movie. Let's see. I think I did talk about that with Brad, though, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard to remember what all we reviewed and whenever he was doing like 5 reviews at a time. Desiree says, that Bill, benefits of talking to a bunch of good folks, hard to come by online, ain't it? Love talking to y'all. Yeah, it's cool having those of you that I'd rather have 10 of you here that want to talk and have a good time than 1,000 that want to just hate on each other. I mean, it'd be nice to have 1,000. I just don't want to hate on each other. I don't think I keep up with that many comments, so to be honest, I'm wondering what would ever happen if this show had 1,000 people watching and I had to try to do all the comments. I can't keep up with them now. Let's see. Where was I? Bryce says, speaking of how weird Thomas the Tank Engine was, does anyone remember Budgie the Little Helicopter? I don't remember that one. Yeah, that one doesn't ring a bell. Daniel says, Paul Green probably not, since it's getting mixed reviews with 58 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'll talk about Terminator. I didn't know they released a Rotten Tomatoes score. I knew that the other day I looked. I don't think it was there. Rob says, gotta go with thanks for turning my day around after a hard day's work and new comments not arriving. I couldn't do comic reviews, so I needed this. Talk to you soon. But hey, man, glad you can join us. Yeah, I know you've been having trouble getting your comics. That sucks because I know you're doing your comic reviews. So hopefully they come soon and come when they're supposed to. Ryan says, speaking of PBS-based movies, which Sesame Street film is better? Follow That Bird or Elmo in Grouchland? Probably the weirder, better movie is Follow That Bird, but I enjoy Elmo and Grouchland. My son likes that movie a lot. Plus you got Mandy Patinkin, and you've got Vanessa Williams, who I still to this day have an enormous crush on, in there. So, I mean, there's things to like a lot about Elmo and Grouchland. I know it's probably the weaker movie, and Follow That Bird is just weirdly cool. But, I'll get lynched for this. I would rather watch Elmo and Grouchland, but mostly because if my son was with me, we're watching Elmo and Grouchland. If I'm by myself, 50-50, I'd probably pick Follow That Bird. Maybe 60-40, I'd pick Follow That Bird. Because I do like Elmo and Grouchland. It's one I'd watch on my own. And everyone's saying you're on. Yeah, it was. I'll skip all those, but yeah, thank you for sticking with me. I know I had some message popping up saying you're you're not on anymore, so I didn't even know if I was on. Let's see. Paul says bye, Rob. Everyone says later. Um, let's see. Where was I? Bryson says so. It's on Hulu, but recently I've gotten into a Canadian series called Letterkenny. Is anyone else watching? It's by far the best comedic dialogue I've seen in the show. I don't have Hulu, so I don't know anything about that show. Um, Daniel says, I don't think Terminator Dark Fate will do decent at the Thursday opening night box office because it's Halloween. No, that's right, it is Halloween. I keep forgetting that it's Halloween night. I don't get to take my kids trick-or-treating. Thankfully, we've done Boo at the Zoo already. Um, that was one of our trick-or-treating, so I got to take them trick-or-treating, but I don't get to take them trick-or-treating because I have to have a radio segment. Let's see. That's right. It is on. It is on Halloween. I guess maybe it'll do Good Friday then. I don't know. And Terminator fans will be either getting drunk or stealing candy from their kids or taking the kids out trick or treat. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's Halloween. That's right. That was a weird time to release it. Ryan says, since we brought up talking modes of transportation, remember Theodore Tugboat? Vaguely, the name sounds familiar, but I can't really put my finger on anything about it. Yeah, I the name sounds familiar. But I can't remember what it is. Desiree says, I work on Halloween, but at least they let me dress up and give kids candy at my work. Always fun seeing kiddos dressed up. That's cool. That's always fun. We used to give out candy when I worked at Kroger too. And it's always cool whenever I always look. I know the tradition of trick or treating is a good thing, and people like to do it, and it's not as safe anymore. And so I like it when like zoos and churches and stores and things like that have stuff to where your kids can go to a safe place and just have fun, dress up, and have a good time and get candy. Ryan says, I remember a lot of PBS Kids shows from the past. You know, I remember a bunch, but I'd have to look at a list. And then plus my son is getting into a lot. He's in a ton of PBS shows. He loves this PBS Kids app. But yeah, it's PBS, man, they definitely I mean, I grew up with it, he's grown up with it, and my kids and their kids are probably going to grow up with PBS. Daniel says, I love Follow That Bird and Elmo and Grouchland when I was young and growing up, but Elmo and Grouchland doesn't hold up that well, but it's still okay. But Follow That Bird movie does. Yeah, Follow That Bird definitely holds up as a film. Elmo and Grouchland, again, I think I have more of a soft spot for that because of who's in it and because my son loves it. I mean, if he didn't like Elmo, I probably wouldn't be as attached to it. But he loves Elmo. So, Bill says, my Thomas the Train theory is that every time a human gets run over on a track, their souls get trapped in a train. Jeez. That's a little dark, but then again, that show is dark. That wouldn't surprise me. Daniel says, have you seen Maleficent 2 and Jexy? Yeah, a lot of people are wondering where my Maleficent 2 review is. I just haven't felt like doing it. I saw it on, what day did I see that on? Sunday. I just hadn't felt like doing it. And if it's a movie that wowed me, I probably would have wanted to talk about it. So I guess we leave it at that. Jexy, I've not seen. It hasn't come near me. Springfield. I wasn't gonna travel to Springfield for an Adam Devine movie. I mean, that's pretty much it. Paul says, have I seen a trailer for Knives Out? Yes, I've seen all the trailers for that, and I'm so looking forward to that movie. Just looks so much fun. Bryce says, Eureka's Castle was great. I remember Eureka's Castle. I do remember that. Oh, wait, Eureka's Castle was Nickelodeon. That is right. But I do remember that show. I thought that sounded weird just for a second, but that's right. Eureka's Castle was Nickelodeon. I do remember that show, though. I did grow up with a little bit with that one. I can't remember when it was out. I think it was a little older when that show came out, but not like, I don't think I was in high school or anything. Let's see. Desiree says, anyone remember Puzzle Place? I remember the name. That and Fraggle Rock. I love Fraggle Rock. Were my jam back when I watched PS. Yeah, Fraggle Rock. I introduced my son to Fraggle Rock when we had access to it, and he liked it too. He loves anything Muppet. Daniel said, "Who doesn't love Elmo? I know lots of people that don't love Elmo." Um, he's not my favorite. I like Elmo, but I'm still a Grover guy. Bill says the Joker stares from film become a tourist trap. Not surprised. And if you haven't seen the Grouch SNL skit spoofing on Joker, that's definitely worth seeing. It involves the stairs as well. Canto 1408 joins us. I think Halloween is a perfect time to release a Terminator movie. I mean, come on, Terminator and Michael Myers go together like a horse and carriage. You know, it's a good time for a movie like that, but I mean, releasing it where the preview night is on Halloween, maybe not the smartest idea. But I mean, is it the perfect time of year? Yes, definitely a fall release is a good time for a Terminator movie. And I'm looking forward to the next Halloween movies. I kind of hope they're done after that, but we all know that's not going to be the case after the next two. Daniel says you should do a real rant on Maleficent 2. I can't do a real rant on Maleficent 2. It doesn't do enough to. I sat through that movie bored, so bored. That movie is so boring. It was just so many already used ideas. I'm trying to find creative ways. See, I spent more time working on the thumbnail for my review of that than I even want to spend on a review. If you want to see the thumbnail, it's not up now, but it's one of the past Facebook, not the profile picture, but the whatever the other picture is on the Real Gino Facebook page. I've been putting up some of my thumbnails early there, and I did my Maleficent one there because I planned on recording the review. And I had a lot of fun. I spent more time caring about that thumbnail than I did about the movie because I was just having fun making it. But I can't real rant on something that gave me really no emotion at all. It didn't even make me angry. I'm just sitting there saying, why is this a movie? Let's see. Desiree says, love seeing Chris Evans being a D-bag again instead of a good boy. I used to play so many jerks, and dang, he's great at it. Yeah, I love seeing more sarcastic and funny Chris Evans. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really liked him as Captain America, but let's get back to either doing darker roles like in The Iceman or doing snarky stuff like Knives Out. I'm definitely looking forward to myself. Daniel says, does anyone remember Arthur? Yes, my son still watches it, and I like that show. I remember, and I think I've talked about this, where the author of those books came to my school when I was younger. I don't remember meeting him or anything, but I just remember him being there. Cyber Chase, he's watched that a little bit. I've only seen it a couple times. Between the Lions, I don't know. Booba, I don't know. And Teletubbies, thankfully, is another show that he did not get into. I don't want to remember the Teletubbies. Bryce says Babar the Elephant was an odd show. Was that on PBS? It was on a few different channels, I think. I know for a while, I work for an NBC affiliate, and when they were running Saturday morning cartoons some years back, they were running Babar, but it was reruns of older shows. And Ryan says Babar was on HBO. Yeah, I wasn't sure where it originated. Paul says the Mr. Roger movie looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, who else are you gonna get besides Tom Hanks to play that role? I could have maybe, if given some time, I might think of a couple other people that could have played that role. But I mean, come on, it's Tom Hanks. Canto 1408 says the only thing that would get me really excited for the next two Halloweens is if they get Carpenter back in the director's chair. That would be cool. At least for the last one. If they're going to end it here, which of course we all know they're not. But, because I mean, I knew they were going to do more Halloweens when they didn't show his body at the end of the last one. They just showed the fire. Yeah, that would be, especially for the last one. If they were doing the three, even if they got him for the next two, great. Or if they just got him for the final one, if they're going to like end the story of the real Michael Myers, since they kind of erased all the other movies, or most of the other movies. That would be cool if they got Carpenter back. Bryce says, I remember all these old shows, but not the channels I watched them on. Well, of course, when you were younger, that stuff's just turn on my cartoons. Um, it's up to your parents to remember all that stuff. Let's see. Ryan says, Sesame Street turning 50 next month. Yeah. It's still crazy to know that show's older than me. But man, I'm glad it's still somewhat going strong. I know it's had to change over the years. They finally, I don't know if you've all seen this, they finally changed Elmo's world. It's because they only have the half-hour show, and they have to, that show, the Elmo's World segment used to be like 15 minutes long. It's like 5 minutes long now. It's so great. And it's not, I mean, yeah, it's still repetitive, but at least it's short. I thought that was crazy seeing how much they've changed the show. Let's see. Scott says, have you heard any rumors if Ghostbusters 2020 will be any good? I haven't heard much about it other than, what is it, Paul Rudd's in it, and Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd. Still a question on Bill Murray. Who knows who else they'll get. I can't remember if they said anybody else is going to be in it. I can't remember if they said Sigourney Weaver's in it or not. I hope so. I hope it's good. I was somewhat rooting for the reboot, but I knew they were going to try too hard, and they were going to try to insult the originals, and they kind of did. And though I didn't hate that movie, it wasn't great. I wanted to see a continuation. I'll watch a reboot, but boy, do they have a big hill to climb if you're trying to reboot Ghostbusters. Ryan says a Sesame Street 50th anniversary special next month will air next month. That will feature celebrity guests, almost all the major human actors, apparently even appearances from a certain amphibian. If they, I know some of the older actors, they moved out some years ago, like last few years. It'd be nice to see some of them back. I was kind of surprised that they moved, like they finally got rid of Gordon some years ago. But they wanted to have younger characters. So of course they're gonna have to move some of them on, but yeah, I'm sure I'll probably definitely check that out somehow. I know my son will want to see it. Desiree says, mall that I work for is infrequently has PBS events for kiddos. They did a Curious George one a few weeks ago, where they gave kids banana splits. They do Paw Patrol ones too, where they teach kids safety. That's cool. My son likes stuff like that. He went to one, and I made a joke on Facebook years ago. He was probably maybe 4, and he went to some event where they had someone in a Curious George costume, and he sat next to Curious George, and that was his buddy. And I made a joke about he met his first celebrity. I've never seen that kid cheese so much and smiling, sitting next to Curious George. He's like crossed his legs and just like big old smile on his face. Let's see. Bryce says, will Arctic Dogs be this fall's Norm in the North? Yes. If you've not, I've seen the trailer. I'm not looking forward to that movie. Crazy enough, though, I've been looking for images to use for thumbnails for that, and I can't find anything useful. And apparently it used to have a different name. It was something like Thunder Dogs or something like that. It had some different name, and I think it's going to be a movie that they've chopped up and tried to make into something else. Because I think it was supposed to be more like something like a rescue type movie, but then all of a sudden it's about delivery. And then because I saw one picture when it had the old title, and it looked like there was some like battle scene, like against some rival group or something. Yeah, and apparently with Jeremy Renner getting into some trouble, possibly they may even not even release that movie, because I know the trailer itself's going Jeremy Renner stars as. I'm not really looking forward to that movie at all. And also I heard apparently they're considering recasting Hawkeye now too. Wouldn't that be a kick in the pants? Let's see. Paul says, think that since Laurie Strode is not Michael's sister, there's no need for her in that story. I wouldn't say that. I mean, she is kind of the story is Michael and Lori. I mean, she needs to be in that story, I think. Um, the whole thing, about I'm kind of glad they got rid of the sister thing. You don't need those kind of links. You just got this guy that's mentally unstable and killing people, and he's evil, and you know, and then or what is his real motivations? Or I'd rather that be the motivation of the story than, oh, by the way, they're related. Um, but what everyone wants to know is Ben Tramer going to show up? Let's see. Bryson says, have I seen the trailer for Emmerich's Midway? Yes. I still think it looks horrible, like Bay's Pearl Harbor bad. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't think it's going to be great, but I don't think it's going to be as insulting as Pearl Harbor was. Pearl Harbor was an insult to the American soldier. Uh, Midway, I think, is at least going to try. Will it succeed? I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be Pearl Harbor bad. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think story wise it's going to be Pearl Harbor bad. Daniel says Arctic Dogs looks terrible and makes Playing with Fire look like Frozen 2. Man, have you seen Playing with Fire? It could be fun. You never know. But then again, I'm saying Arctic Dog sucks and I haven't seen it either. But let's see. Ryan says, I'll be meeting one of the stars of Arctic Dogs in 2 weeks at a live show. Who are you meeting? Oh, here you go. You put it down here. The Arctic Dog star I'll be meeting is legendary John Cleese. He'll be doing a live show thing in T-Bay, and I got meet and greet tickets. That's awesome. I mean, have you seen the cast of that movie? It's one of those. They just got a bunch of people separately and hired a bunch of stars to be in that movie. But that's cool that you can get to meet John Cleese. I like John Cleese a lot. Let's see. That's cool though. You get to meet him. Paul says no one is talking about the Electric Company. That was a good show on PBS. Someone was talking to me about the Electric Company the other day. Oh yeah, we were talking. We had a thing on the news about, and I'm not gonna try to say it, and I'm not gonna look it up, but the longest word in the dictionary, and I remembered it being on Odd Squad, and I found the clip, and then I think it was our morning producer. She said she remembered it on the new Electric Company because they did have a reboot of that show. My son watched it for a little while. I didn't hate the reboot. I don't remember much about the original except some of the cutaway stuff they did, but I remember liking both. I mean, the new one, of course, wasn't as good as the old one, but it's still very entertaining. Daniel says Midway looks good. I'll give it a pass if they make Pearl Harbor movie reference and don't have the plane shoot up the hospital. Yeah, I know they're going to show some Pearl Harbor in that, so I think it's got to be a better movie. It's got to be a better movie than Pearl Harbor. If you're worse than Pearl Harbor, then that's sad. Desiree says, just put a picture for Snow Dogs or Balto. I'm guessing you're saying for my thumbnail. That's funny. But yeah, it's like that's not the movie. Who says? Did you watch it? Ryan says the Arctic Duck star I'll be me. Okay, I'm sorry, I read that one. Desiree says, well, poor Renner is emotionally unstable and depressed, and said he was gonna off himself and his wife. I think he should get out first and hold off for Hawkeye for now. I don't think he should be recast. The only problem with that is I'm not making an argument to recast him. It's going to play into a timeline of their story. So Disney is not going to wait on Jeremy Renner. I hate to say that, but he's a character. I mean, just he's like Rhodey. If they're not happy or something's wrong, they're going to recast him. It's not like he's Robert Downey Jr., unfortunately, even though he's been there since near the beginning. So I have a feeling. It may look bad on them I think they're going to either take out that show and maybe fit it in later. I mean, you could do that, but if they've got a set storyline they're trying to tell, I have a feeling they probably will recast. But who knows? Bill says, Anti-disestablishmentarianism. That wasn't the word. It was something about it was some word. It's some sickness you get from like volcanic rock or from like volcanoes or something. But I can't remember. It's way longer than that word. And, but I think that word you just used, I'm not going to try to say it again. They used that on the Odd Squad episode as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Desiree says that's the second longest, I think. And Ryan says, I love that one of the stars of 2009 Electric Company is now in a good place. Yes, Bill, that's the word right there. And I am not going to try to say it. But yeah, apparently on both these shows, they said the word. There's some outtakes on YouTube of the Electric Company, person trying to say it. Like he keeps messing it up. And then on Odd Squad, it's in their movie A World Gone Odd. I think it's like 20 some minutes in, because I gave my producer at work the timestamp so she could see it. And yeah, seeing the girl say it, it's insane, because it's like, man, I could never get that word right. Bryson says, anyone know anything about the Last Full Measure Ed Harris Samuel Jackson Vietnam movie? So far I've only seen production stills. I don't even think I've ever heard of that. I would watch a Vietnam movie with Samuel Jackson and Ed Harris in it, so I'm already sold. Scott says, seems like nobody remembers the Bloodhound Gang. Anytime I think of the Bloodhound Gang, I think of the band now. 1983 on PBS. I was pretty young, probably when that was. I remember the name, though I don't remember the show. I thought that show was pretty good as a kid. Also, I was partial to season 2 of 3-2-1 Contact. I do remember that show when they were in the basement. I don't remember much about it. I remember the name of that one as well. But anyway, if you guys got anything else you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. I'll probably be wrapping it up soon. I was gonna, since we got off to a fast start, I'm not gonna get into the subject matter I was gonna talk about today, because you guys gave me plenty of subject matter, and I think the subject matter I was gonna talk about might be a bit of a downer. And I don't want to bring down the tone of this fun we're having. So I will talk about it at a later date. It's not a big deal. It's just something I've always considered. I always joke and say you guys are like, this is like therapy to me. You guys are my therapist, so I always like to talk about some things, but it's something that can wait. So keep the fun coming if you guys want to keep talking. We'll talk about the subject matter I was going to talk about later. It's something that can wait. So we'll keep going with the chat here. You guys are keeping the chat moving, so I'm happy about that. Paul says, really looking forward to a review of Cats. I am not looking forward to seeing Cats, but then again, I am so terrified of that movie, of just what it is going to be. Just the trailer alone. See, I've never seen the stage show. I don't know the story. I don't know anything about Cats other than what little clips I've seen from the stage show. But man, that trailer did nothing but creep me out. So in a way, I'm looking forward to that movie. In a way, I'm totally not. Daniel says Joker is expected to be the first R-rated movie to ever hit $1 billion. Good for it. I thought it was a good movie. I wasn't as amazed. I love a lot about it. But I said in my review, the predictability of it kind of knocked it down some notches for me, because then I just know the stuff. I know a lot of, we know who Bruce Wayne, you know that stuff. You're going to kind of know. I kind of wish they would have I know they put a little twist on it, but I saw that twist coming. And then, is it real? Is the whole movie fake? Is it all in his head? That was tired for me. If that's really where they're going with it, it was just kind of, I've seen that before. It's like, oh, it's all in a character's head. This whole story. I've seen that before. I didn't like that either. But I did enjoy the movie a lot. Let's see. Or was I? Desiree, thoughts on current the Batman cast? I'm pleased with Zoe Kravitz. I'm fine with the cast so far. Paul Dano is the Riddler. I love that choice. Zoe Kravitz. okay, I've not seen enough of her to really say I'm happy or upset about it. I'm fine with it. She hasn't. I've just seen her in a lot of bad movies. Not she isn't what made the movie bad, but she's just in a lot of movies that I didn't care too much for. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do with it. I'm not gonna be one of those people like, well, this isn't my Catwoman, right? It's I'm glad they're giving a young actress a chance. I mean, there's a couple other actresses I might, if I really think about it, I would have liked to seen in the role. But I mean, I have no problem with her being in the role. I just haven't seen her get to do enough good stuff to really say I'm excited for it. But I don't have an issue with it. It's again, there's some people I didn't want to see in the role, and there's people that, some actresses I like that I would have liked to have seen them give them a try too, but no, use them for somebody else. So hopefully she's really good. I want that movie to be good. I want to see. I'm tired of them having to replace Batman every few years. I hope Robert Pattinson gets to play Batman I hope he's really good and he gets to play Batman for a long time. I want to see a lot of Batman movies. Not just, oh, we made 2 or 3 and now we got to start over again. And then you get Ben Affleck and he does 2 movies and a couple bit parts and then he's done. And, I want to see an established Batman series that doesn't stop after 2 or 3 movies. Let's see. Ryan says, I'm actually helping a friend of mine on a video listing off literally every PBS show ever. Let's see. Desiree says, I'm having a sick curiosity of seeing the coolest dude Idris Elba as a friggin' cat. Oh, for cats. It's so cringy, and yet, dang, I gotta see that. Yeah, Pimp Cat. That movie's gonna be something. It could be one of those it's so bad it's good type of movies. I think they're gonna be taking themselves way too seriously. Then again, you see some of the actors and actresses that are in it and some of the scenes they're in, and they're trying to be funny. Let's see. So yeah, that movie's gonna be weird. Bill says, never be too afraid to go to therapy. The social stigma surrounding our crap. I have no issue with therapy. I was just like saying, you guys being here listening to me for at this time about an hour and a half it helps me to just let go, because sometimes I hold things in. And it's not having someone here all the time to talk to. I mean, when my kids are here, I'm not going to talk to them about things. And, I mean, yeah, I can always call friends or whatever. I hate talking on the phone though. It's just nice to just be able to say it and just talk if I need to talk about stuff. So yeah, I don't have issues with therapy. Bryson says, now that Kevin Smith is done with the new Jalen and Silent Bob film, which I wish I would have got to see. It was on days I couldn't go. Hopefully it'll come out on video soon. That's your ballpark, Desiree. Definitely check for us. Is Jay and Silent Bob coming out? The reboot coming out soon on DVD. I know you had the scoop for us on the 3 from Hell. So if you know, let us know. Because I really want to see that one. It says, are we finally going to be getting Moose Jaws? I don't know if he's ever going to go back to that Canada trilogy thing he was doing after the response he got for the last one, the Yoga Hosers. Man, I remember when Brad and I ripped into that one. I was not a fan of Yoga Hosers, nor did I like Tusk a lot. I don't know. The idea of Moose Jaws was cool. I just don't know if it was going to be any good or not. Will he do it though? I don't know. I really don't. Now that he's done with Jay and Silent Bob, at least for now, is he going to go back to, I don't know. And I don't know if he's going to try to go back and make that show about being a weed salesman or any of that stuff. I can't remember what the name of that was. Hollyweed, that was it. Let's see. Bryce says, Jason Alexander has said he would like to be the Penguin. I totally see. Yeah, that'd be cool. Paul Giamatti as Penguin, that'd be cool. I know they're talking about Jonah Hill possibly being the Penguin or Riddler. Josh Gad has said he wanted to be the Penguin. Heck, just get Danny DeVito back. You know, why not? I don't want too many villains though. I like the idea of if they do like an Arkham game Riddler, hopefully that's what they do with Paul Dano. Um, hopefully they keep it on, the darker Batman kind of stories. And I don't think they're gonna let them go R-rated for the Batman, but I would love to see it if they did, since they're letting all these other ones go R-rated. I know Christian Bale would be a little upset if they did an R-rated Batman movie, since he wanted his to be R-rated. Desiree says she'll definitely check. Thank you. Daniel says, remember Happy Feet. Try not to. I am not a fan. Not a fan of that movie, and I'm not even going to get into all the reasons why. Because that'd be a whole nother live stream, maybe. Let's see. And I don't ever want to go back and watch it to remember everything either. Desiree says, confident in Pattinson's acting, but I have a personal bias against his face. Just don't think he's handsome enough to be Bruce. Stupid nitpick, but he's got a strong jaw, so I'll let it slide. He may surprise you. I mean, if you've seen some of his other movies, I mean, yeah, I know Bruce Wayne's supposed to be handsome, but I always wondered how a character like Batman that got the crap kicked out of him like he did all the time ever had a pretty face. I mean, I know they always had, and how did he ever hide all the scars? I know Alfred is amazing at patching him up, but I mean, come on, you can't hide all those scars. So when he's playing Bruce Wayne, getting with the, being the eligible bachelor, getting with the ladies and everything, how did he hide all them scars from, the women that he got with and stuff? And how did he ever his face not be scarred? I know it's comic book and I'm just being funny here, but I know what you're saying. But I really, he wasn't my pick, but I don't hate the pick of him being Batman. I think he's going to be good. I really do. Now the story has to be good too, of course. Canto 1408 says, Tusk is a movie I liked when I first saw it, but mainly liked it because of how weird it was. But it's not a movie I ever had desire to see again. My issue with that movie was I traveled near Chicago to go see it. Now, it wasn't why I went. I was going to, I think that was when I was going to Chicago, when I was going to go see Living Color in concert. And I figured I might as well make a day out of it. And I stopped at this little side suburb of Chicago and watched Tusk. And it's like, why did I make this side trip? I get the weirdness, and I love the whole, like, the pun stuff, like the not C party. I'm not going to say that real fast because, I'll probably get banned. But, just the little weird stuff like that. There was some stuff I liked about it. Some of the acting was fun, but just as a whole, I wasn't a fan of that movie. But yeah, and I definitely don't want to see it again. Now, if it connects to Moose Jaws, I might have to, but if they ever make Moose Jaws, of course. Bryson says, I really like the Telltale Games take on the Penguin. I never got to play those. I saw a few videos on them. I always enjoyed the fourth season of Batman the Animated Series Penguin, where, he's kind of like they kind of based him on like Al Capone. He wasn't like the freakish Penguin. He was just kind of the gangster. I like the simple take on him, but they'll probably go the other direction, I'm sure. Paul says, I hope Mr. Freeze will be in it, like his backstory. Man, yeah, if I still go back and watch like Batman Sub-Zero every now and then because I love the Mr. Freeze story in that. I'm not sure who all they're going to put in this movie. I'd like to see them establish some characters, some villains for later, but I just don't want to see them all involved. Maybe show some of them in Arkham or something. Heck, maybe they'll even connect the new Joker movie to it. Have old man Joaquin Phoenix in Arkham, and whenever Batman comes to talk to somebody else, who knows? I still think they're going to connect that movie somehow. Then again, it's a little too far back for maybe not for Robert Pattinson to be, the right age. I haven't really done the math. Bill says the Arkham Penguin is the best Penguin with me. He's perfect. I did enjoy the Arkham Penguin, especially when I played Origins. I did enjoy him in that. Desiree says, I'll be down for a Mr. Free story if his wife Nora gets that Lazarus Pit treatment and she gets crazy fire chick arc. I don't know if they'll go that far that fast, but that would be cool. Bill says, heck yeah, Lazarus. Canto 1408 says, I haven't been keeping up to date with this new Batman movie. Is Two-Face going to be in it? He's my favorite Batman villain. Not from what I've heard. I have a feeling, though, we're going to have a Harvey Dent. I would love to see them establish a Harvey Dent for more than one movie before they turn him into Two-Face. I have a feeling we may get Harvey Dent. I don't think we'll get Two-Face in this one, though. From what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be Riddler and Penguin, but who knows? Daniel says Box Office Mojo has a new look. Haven't been there in a while. I think the last time I went to Box Office Mojo was when I was making that meme after Endgame took over the top spot worldwide over Avatar. So I haven't been there. It's been a little bit. But yeah, I don't go there very often, to be honest. Bill says whether Two-Face is in it really is a toss-up at this point. I gotcha. That one almost got by me. I got my coin here somewhere. Is it in here? Yep, there it is. I've always wanted to use this for something. When The Dark Knight came out on Blu-ray, I've got the let's see if I'm trying to do this backwards here. I've got the Two-Face coin. Come on, focus. There we go. I've got the Two-Face coin from that, and I've always kept it. I've always wanted to use it for something. Okay, focus back. Focus back. Focus back. Oh, hey, that's lovely. We're going to have to fix that. Hang on one second. This thing likes to... Let's see. Turn on that. There we go. Whenever I mess with the camera, it never wants to go focus back. I can't stand that. So I have to go into my webcam and fix it. But yeah, I've always wanted to do something with that coin. Like, I've got an idea, and I don't want to reveal it yet, of a segment I'm going to do, like a monthly segment, like once a month or something. But I'll talk about it soon. I'm hoping to do it in the next couple months. Just finding time to do everything is killing me. But I want to use that coin for it. Because I've always wanted to use it for something. Daniel says, I didn't see your meme. Yeah, it was a couple months. It was whenever they took over. So if you go on Twitter, and maybe I'll repost it after the show. Because I think I've got it on this computer. I made it at work, but I'm pretty sure I can find it and repost it. It was basically just making a little fun of Avatar. It was more funny than being mean, but I also used the same effect whenever MoviePass went out of business too. That one was a little more mean. But yeah, maybe I'll repost that after the show here. Desiree says, I know my favorite boy ain't likely ever gonna get a major Batman film anytime soon, but Anarchy is just too much for him, I guess. I did beat Anarchy on Batman Arkham Origins. He was the first one I went after I beat the game. He was easy. Once I got all those bombs, he was pretty easy. Man, but he did not stop talking. Let's see. Bryson says, I just saw the full title. Yeah, the Birds of Prey movie. And oh no, the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Hot topic all over it. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a hot topic shirt factory. I'm not sure what I think about that movie yet. I want it to be good, but I think they're going to try to cram too much into it. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the Joker and that. I know that she's broken up with the Joker, but is he even going to be in the movie? Is it going to be the Joker they've established, or are they going to establish a new Joker? I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do with that. I know there's rumors out there that Jared Leto was trying to stop the Joker movie from getting made. because it would play in, it goes against whatever his movie was supposed to be, but that's been unconfirmed. That's not confirmed. Bill says it's definitely a Harley Quinn and her Amazing Friends movie. Not sure if it'll be any good. I mean, it's getting that chance to be R-rated, so there is that. I know it's a lower budget movie. So it's not going to be like big time effects heavy. So I don't know. I'm curious about it. I want to see it, and I do like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I think she's a really good pick. So there is that, but I just feel like you've got what, 5-6 main characters plus a villain, and who knows what else they'll cram into there. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good. Desiree says, I love Anarchy. I have this whole solo comic series and his original comic appearance from 1989. He's definitely a talker, but he's 15, so I kind of expected. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, you probably got more to say there. I'll wait for it to pop up. About him being, I didn't know much about the character. And then whenever Batman in the game beat the crap out of him, then he was like, oh, you're just a kid. I guess I thought you were going to say more there. So kind of expected. I thought you were saying, sorry, I'm a little tired, guys. Again, long day yesterday. Yeah, when he was, I was like, man, he's a kid. I didn't know anything about the character. I thought that was kind of crazy. But in a way, he's trying to help, in the game anyway. I'm not sure. I know you said they differed before, in the comic and the game, but I liked him in the game. The mission was a little short, but it was. I liked it. It was fun. Bill says he's incredibly well written in Origins. He has his own radio show that's worth a listen. Yeah, I liked it, and I liked him in Origins. Bryce says, with Joker in it, Chapter 2, I ain't coming out this year. Halloween is going to be clowns to the left of me, Jokers to the right, and I'm sitting there in the middle with you. Oh, boy. Bill says, I also really like the Mad Hunter side quest. Yeah, I did that one, too. It took me a bit to do it, but I did enjoy that one as well. I've done a lot of the villains. I can't remember who all I finished, but I've done a lot of the villains stuff. Last time I played, I was working on the Riddler stuff. That's going to take forever. It's weird though. I had one that I got the Riddler trophy or whatever you want to call it, the little pack or whatever. But then it said I didn't get it, even though I can't get it again. And it was because the game crashed on me. So it's weird. It's kind of glitching out. I don't know if that's a normal thing, but Kanto says, I've been reading a lot of DC horror comics like Hellblazer, Swamp Thing, and Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Got me thinking that they should do a series of films based on their horror comics. They were supposed to do a Justice League Dark a while back, and it was supposed to be Guillermo del Toro, but then they did a cartoon, which was actually pretty good. It was like Batman and Justice League Dark. And then aren't they doing I thought they were doing a Sandman show. And I know they did a Swamp Thing season on DC Universe, but apparently it's canceled. And then Hellblazer, they tried to make the NBC show of Constantine where they had perfect casting, but it was on the wrong network. It needed to be on like an HBO or something where they could just go full blown crazy with it. But I think eventually we'll probably, like I said, Swamp Thing was TV, and I swore they were working on Sandman. But I can't remember. Desiree says, yeah, I adore him. Talking about anarchy. His philosophy is great, and in the comics, he was more about making people in power admit to their crimes instead of resorting to outright violence and destruction. I could kind of get that from the character. Because he was like, I'm trying to help. Bill says, I feel like Arkham's Batman is so brutal. They had to make Anarchy's methods even more extreme to match. And I can kind of see that. I mean, the Arkham Batman is pretty take no nonsense, take no prisoners. But he won't kill anybody. He'll electrocute and maim them, but he won't kill them. Desiree says, so the whole terrorism thing ain't really a shtick, but they got it right that he unified the homeless and downtrodden and provided him with work as his eyes and ears on the street and gave him protection. That was kind of, I mean, I kind of like that character. I kind of wish they would have done more with him in that game, because his mission was over real quick. Paul says, is your son doing okay after eye surgery? Yeah, he's doing great. I mean, he was in some pain, but I'll tell you what, we got there at, they signed him in at like 10 in the morning, and then they were taking him back, I think for like 11:30 or 12. I guess he was in recovery for such a short time, that once he woke up, I mean, they got him back to recovery and he woke right up. I mean, he went back to sleep when he got to the room after he saw me and his mom, but he woke up in recovery and just like ready to get back to the room. And they gave him a Sierra Mist and he liked that. And then he was doing a lot of pointing and stuff. He didn't want to talk until he was out of soda. Then he's handing it to the nurse. He's like, can I have another one? But then one of the first things he said, he was so ready to go to the bathroom. He's just like, I gotta go pee. And he tried to jump out of the bed and like, wait, we got to disconnect you from everything. But once he got disconnected, he was ready to get dressed and he was ready to move. He was tired, but boy, was he hungry. We left the hospital. It was like 4:30. I think that was the shortest we'd ever been there, for him getting surgery and then recovering and getting out of there. Yeah, I guess he was a little moody today, but who wouldn't be? I don't have him this week, unfortunately. But he, other than being in a little pain, he was fine with Tylenol, and then he's eating and everything. So he's doing good. He handles it better than I do. He's a stud. So he's doing good though. Kanto says, I think they're making a Sandman show. That's right, it's a show maybe, but not a movie. But I still would love to see a cinematic universe, all the horror-based stuff. Yeah, especially whenever they had Del Toro attached, I would have. I would have loved seeing Del Toro stuff, but I would definitely love to see that myself. I don't know if it'll happen. Bill says, does he get a cool eye patch? No, he's supposed to keep stuff off of it. It was just like inside muscle surgery. They used to do both eyes. They just did his left eye this time. Thankfully, that means the right eye surgeries are working. So hopefully he won't have to do any, if not too many more of these in the next few years. Bryson says, only Superman kills people. He would have killed Batman if not for Martha. Martha. I knew in Batman v Superman when they showed that thing at the first of Thomas going, Martha, I knew that was going to come into play, and boy did it. Let's see. Desiree says, most random Anarchy story is a dimensional glitch monster appeared and he was temporarily given the power of Green Lantern to fight it since he was brave and fearless but stripped of it right after. Nice. That would be interesting. Daniel says, why'd you send off eye surgery? There for a while, both of his eyes would kind of drift. He would lose his focus and stuff. The right eye's been doing really good, but the left eye still kind of drifts some. So they're just working on tightening the muscles and keeping his eye, his eyesight like straightforward, and matching and everything. Let's see. Bill says Swamp Thing could be a hit film. He's so unlike other superheroes that he offers something unique. I haven't got to watch it yet. I'm still working on Titans. But a friend of mine liked the Swamp Thing show, and he was kind of disappointed that they canceled it so fast. But I haven't seen it yet. I remember the old Swamp Thing movies. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen those, but man, it is a cool character. I will say that. I hated what they did with him in that Batman and Harley Quinn cartoon, but he is a cool character though. And Desiree says they hinted at Anarchy possibly being Joker's son after Joker assaulted a dancer high off laughing gas, which does fit in the original intent of Anarchy as being the anti-Robin to Joker being anti-Batman. I guess that makes sense. That would be crazy, Joker having a kid. I guess he did have a kid, didn't he? I think in one of the stories he did have a kid. like some of the other universe stuff. I haven't followed DC Comics in a long time, so I don't remember, but I could have swore Joker had a kid. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been the last few days been crazy. Just keep an eye on the channel. I'm hoping I'll maybe do my Maleficent review tomorrow. I don't know though if I will. I mean, tomorrow I got to see that Countdown movie. We'll see if I can get to it tomorrow. I will. But thank you so much for joining me. Oh, Daniel says, remember discount second run theater. The only second run theater I ever remember was in Springfield. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about, where you get like $2 movies. But anyway, that's the only one I remember. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being in my therapy session. But anyway, I'm glad you guys can join me tonight. Like I said, maybe next time I'll talk about what I was going to talk about. But you guys gave me plenty to talk about, so and it made the night fun. So I didn't want to bring it down. Anyway, it's been fun talking to you guys. I'm glad you guys are here. And I'm glad we can have a good time, that this is one of the small pockets of YouTube to where we can just have a cool time and talk about stuff and, shoot the what. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and this has been the Low Budget Livestream. See you later.